Welcome back to Making Video Your Business. Today I'm joined by Ben G from Hat & Home, and he's the founder. Ben, lovely to have you. Thanks so much for taking the time to come and see us.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
So we met probably about a year or so ago at a big estate agency event, Agents Giving, sorry. What would you call it? Their Strictly Come Dancing event?
Oh, yeah.
It's their ball, yeah. And we sat together and we ate some food and we drank some beers. And we had a good time doing it. And you've come all the way up to Grantham from London to come and talk to me about Hat & Home and video content. So can you give me a bit of a potted history of Hat & Home? What is it and how long have you been running?
Yeah, of course. So Hat & Home is 3 years old. We started as a single branch in Wokingham 3 years ago, and now we've got 5 branches, plus a mortgage brokerage that we started last year, and we've got a prime division which operates at the upper end of the market. So, what are we? We're an estate agency. We're independent, and we have grown quite quickly. And I've got a team around me of 33 now, based all around the Thames Valley, and no signs of stopping there.
I mean, it's quite an incredible feat to go from nowhere to 5 branches in 3 years. That takes some doing. What was your drive to start, and how have you been able to, I guess, press that success so quickly?
I've been in the estate agency for nearly 25 years now. My drive is that I wasn't ever sure whether I would definitely start my own agency, but I got diagnosed with Parkinson's 3 years ago, and it gave me the kick up the arse I needed. It made me realise that I've got more to give, that I wanted to leave a legacy for my wife and children, and I wanted to do something that I was passionate about, which is estate agency. I love being an estate agent, but I wanted to do it my way, and the way that I thought was lacking in a lot of the agencies I'd worked in before. I don't think people are as progressive or innovative as they can be. So when I started Hat & Home, I said, right, let's do this and do this the way I think we should do it, and I think the way the world's going, and the way that I believe our customers want to be treated and want to be dealt with.
That diagnosis, did that then spurred you into starting the business as it stood? But how was that, I guess, giving you the motivation to really go on and like accelerate your business?
It drives me every day. You know, it's crazy to say this, but I've said it on a couple of occasions. It's the best thing that ever happened to me, because it's an illness that, whilst it's lifelong and it's a progressive neurological condition, it doesn't get any better. It gets worse over time. It doesn't mean that you have to have horrendous treatment the moment that you're diagnosed, and it also doesn't mean you're going to die. So you get this incredible opportunity, this gift, if you will, where you've got an opportunity to say, well, I want to do all these things in life that I haven't done yet, but I'm not going to be limited by having, like chemotherapy, or I'm not going to be limited by having to have an operation.
Yeah.
And I also don't have to worry about dying next year, because it's not going to happen like that. So it's kind of a gift. So that drives me every day to I guess I'm very grateful that I've got the opportunity to do what I'm doing now. Without it being too much of a hindrance to me. You know, it is a hindrance. I'm sitting there, my legs shaking now. That's an annoyance more than anything else. It definitely gives you that perspective on time. You know, that somebody or something can take your time away from you very quickly. And, you know, I guess from my point of view, from a physical perspective, there's only so long I have before it gets too difficult to walk and too difficult to speak. And, you know, those are the things that happen with Parkinson's.
Yes.
It's not nice, but you have speech problems, you have mobility problems. So I've got the urgency that I want to get to where I want to get to in life, to then be able to still retire, and enjoy those doing the things I want to do without having to taken away the ability to do the basics.
In 3 years, you've grown 5 branches.
Yeah.
You've got yourself to a stage. You've got over 30 people working with you. Yeah. What is the point where you're like, right, enough is enough? This is the scale of the business that I wanted to get to when I started this process. Now it's a question of consolidating and making things tight so that I can then step back.
Oh, nowhere near there yet. I've got a long way to go. I don't have a number. And, you know, I'm not doing this so that I can step back from it. I'm doing this so that I've got a legacy for my wife and kids. I'm doing this to make sure that we're offering the best service out to our clients. And, you know, the team I've got around me, I'm absolutely certain that at the time where I want to step back a little bit from it, you know, whether that's in 10, 15 years time, there's going to be a brilliant team who are already running the business for me. You know, it's happening a lot at the moment. They're brilliant.
How important do you think your brand awareness, I guess the awareness of your brand, has been as a result of the quality of your branding?
It's huge. You know, there's 2 things that are your greatest intangible trading assets. That's your brand and your people. Now, the people you sort out by getting the right people on board and training them and make sure you've got a good culture. You can deal with that. your brand, if you don't put effort into how people feel about dealing with you and how people feel emotionally when they have a touch point with your business, then you're nothing. And if you believe that you've got a great brand, but you do nothing with it, so you don't talk to people through the medium of your brand, then there's no point having it anyway. So, you said in your intro about we met at this ball, and we were talking passionately about the need to link up your brand with video and with content that delivers the same message that you want to portray through other mediums. And that's absolutely vital. Our brand's more than branding. Branding's a load of color schemes and logos, stuff like that. Brand is how your customer or potential customer feels when they engage with your content. And I want them to feel a bit surprised or happy or sad or whatever. I want them to feel an emotion, anything but anger. Don't want them to feel anger. That's never good with the brand. So, estate agents don't do it well. Okay, they don't do brand well, but we've done brand well, I think.
Yeah, you've done brand really well.
We talk about the reasons for moving rather than talking about, we can do this and we can do that. So we're a bit softer with it. The challenge for us is then how do we then get that out to the people that we want to engage with, and you talked about, our visuals being very strong. They are, but as you know, video is everything at the moment,
I mean, I like to think so.
Yeah, I knew you wanted me to say something. Video is everything at the moment, and I think that's everything from decent quality, medium length films, whether it's 2.5 minutes where you're really trying to get your brand message across to, 25 seconds, 10-second videos that you're using on social media. And I think unless you can deliver a consistent message over that medium, you're going to be a bit stuffed. And when I say a consistent message, what I mean is that people it needs to feel the same. Not everything wants to be the same, but you can't have a different font on your captions for every video. You can't have a different color scheme on your background for every video. You can't have a different consistency is everything. Now, I'm a big fan of getting experts around you. I'm not brilliant at everything. I'm brilliant at certain things, but just like we do with our branding, you get experts around you who are great at doing the right things, and that's how you produce quality content. So what we won't do in our business is deliver anything that's rubbish.
I think the key thing for me when I look at everything that you've done, it has a finish. That's what I would say. It has a finish, but there are things that are a bit funnier and that have they're less corporate. Your Christmas advert was a prime example of that. I really love that, and I think you can have fun with it, but I think there needs to be a consistency of quality. What channels are you leveraging now? And what channels do you think will be exploratory, I guess, for you into 2024 and 2025?
Okay, I can start with the exploratory stuff because we don't do anything with TikTok at the moment.
Right.
And that's it's a huge focus for us this year. I think the reason that we've been a bit not nervous about doing it, but a bit reticent so far is that we want to make sure that everything we do right. And I think TikTok, you need a certain voice, a certain tone of voice. And that means that we have to deliver content that's specific to that channel. So we've been working on what that sounds like, what that looks like, who it's supposed to be appealing to, the personalities, dare I say. So the personality of the content that we're going to send there is going to be different to the personality of the content we send out, on our YouTube channel or LinkedIn or whatever like that. So where we use Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the ones you would think, but TikTok's a big focus for us. But listen, we are lucky. When I compare this to when I started 25 years ago in agency, we were still printing photographs and sticking them on the front of details. We come a million miles. I don't think as an industry we do enough with video. No. I think we definitely need to do more. We can do more. I think people are a bit nervous about it. They're nervous about getting in front of the camera. They're nervous about what to say. They're nervous about saying something stupid. And I think there's also, a lot of people send out too long videos. I think they're just too long. And, if my kids are anything to go by, you've got to capture people's attention like that now.
You do loads of video. Like you'll stand in front of camera all the time. I've seen loads and loads of videos.
Yeah, I'm not shy.
You're not bothered by it at all.
I'm not bothered by it. And, I've been a confident individual for a long time, and I think, the Parkinson's thing probably it's not made me any more confident.
No.
It's made me more confident in talking about certain things in a certain way.
Yeah.
I'm a lot more humble, I think, now than I used to be. I was a bit arrogant, I think, in certain formative years. But I guess I feel like I've got something to say.
Yeah.
And I've always been, people talk about estate. If you're not confident as an estate agent, you're a bit stuffed. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to stand in front of a camera and do what you do, but we are showmen.
Yeah.
You stand in people's living rooms every day and you're a showman. So, you can either do that well, or you do it a bit arrogantly. And if it's arrogant, it really turns people off.
I stand on these stages, right? And I talk to letting estate agents and I say, look, you should be making video content. And they go, well, we already make housing tours.
Mm.
And I'm like, cool. That's such a small proportion of the stuff you could be making. How important do you think video content has been from that 0 to 3 year point in Pattern Home?
Hugely important. Hugely important. It shows personality. You know, you can write a letter to somebody. You can put a post out with some stats on. All really interesting information. What people want to see is the white of your eyes. They want to see you talking about something, as you say, that you know about, that's relevant to them. Video is the quickest way to do that.
Give me a bit of a rundown of stuff that you so far in 3 years have made for Pattern Home, examples of content you've
Okay,
made.
there's loads. And just to say, the property tour, the video of the property, that is totally separate to content. That's not content. That's
sales.
advertising.
Yeah.
That's advertising somebody's property for them. And it's important,
Mm.
but it's advertising. What have we done? What's going on in your area? What roads have increased the most value in your area? We've done the top 5 selling tips, the top 5 letting tips, how to make sure that you're in prime position in a bidding war, what colours not to paint your house. Well, God, we've done loads. Christmas adverts. We've done brand adverts. We've done Parkinson's awareness. We've done charity events. We've done auctions on video. We've done, I mean, if you want to talk to somebody about it down the pub, if you're having a conversation at property and you go, how much that house does sell down the road from you? There you go. You've got a bit of content. You send a video out talking about the 3 houses in a particular road that was also on the last 6 months. There's a bit of content. And they, in comparison to 2022, they've gone up by this. And you know, there's a school around the corner that's excellent Ofsted.
Mm.
That's a bit of content. Or you're sitting down the pub with your mate and they say, what's happened to rental prices, do you reckon? Or they're saying to you, it's a nightmare. I can't get anywhere because everybody's outbidding me on a rental. There's your content. Why am I being outbid on a rental? I think the danger is people try and put too much into it. Keep it really simple, keep it consistent. One message, done.
Making other content that isn't direct sales, I think has as much value, if not more value. Would you agree?
More value.
Do you think?
People don't want to feel like they're being directly sold to. People always want to be sold to, but they don't want to feel like they're being directly sold to anymore. They want to feel your brand. They want to feel your content. I think the indirect stuff is actually more important now, And I think the way people go and find that is really interesting as well. I was looking for a hotel the other day and I'm old. I'm 45. I'd like to think I'm relatively media savvy. I went on Google to do a search. Yeah. My daughter did the same. She's straight on TikTok.
Yeah.
So she's on TikTok,
That's
looking at doing what would be traditionally a Google search, doing it on TikTok. What you're trying to do as an agent is simple, right? When you as a client come to sell or let your property and you're thinking about it, sitting down with a cup of tea with your partner and you think, right, we're really going to have to sell this year. You've got to be, as an agency, one of the people they think about inviting to their home. That's all you want to do.
Yeah, you just want.
Then it's up to you to win. You talked about pitching. It's pitching.
Yeah.
Convincing. Yes, it's convincing. That's sales.
But you have to get there.
You've got to get there. So all you've got to be is just in their mind as one of those 3 that they invite out.
Correct.
Now, you can either be in their mind because you've put more posts through their door and that hasn't annoyed them. You can be in their mind because you've done a lot of content. You can be in their mind because you've sold 3 houses on the street. There's lots of different reasons. But one thing is, if you've always been on their feed, their social media feed,
you're on their radar, aren't you?
And you've said something interesting and you've had it forwarded to you by, a friend of yours because it was about, moving house in your area, you're going to be on their mind.
How do you feel about AI?
AI has huge advantages for streamlining processes and making them easier.
Do you use it?
And yes, we use it for certain things. So we use it to start property descriptions. So, our CRM has an inbuilt function that fires out a property description. So why wouldn't we use that as a structure? Every agent's nightmare is, God, I've got another description. Located on the favoured southern end of the street, is this favourable? It just gets a bit boring. If somebody fires out something that you can use, I'd never ever let them go like that though. You've got to change it.
And make them
so I think AI has a place for doing certain things. I think the moment we have what they call avatars or whatever, chatting about estate agency and it not being a person, I don't think it becomes authentic. And I think it actually loses credibility and loses a bit of trust in the viewer. But I think that AI, I know it's everybody's buzzword at the moment. I don't actually think we've really feel or seen yet how it can have the real influence and the most influence. I think it's all very shiny at the moment, and everybody's using it for doing their homework and writing descriptions and having a flawless person talking about whatever they want to talk about.
And it can't demonstrate that passion. and that level of intent.
Humans need emotion.
Yeah.
And actually, when we're talking to somebody and they look bored or they yawn or they look away or they look at their phone,
Yeah.
that hurts.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. And we feel rejected and we don't like that conversation anymore. When you've got something in front of you that's just very flat, very flawless, not responding to what you're saying because they don't laugh at what you say,
No.
or they don't tut at you or they don't sigh at you, you feel rejected.
Yeah.
I think that's a problem.
Humans aren't perfect, and also you're portraying, if you've got an AI person at the moment and it's portraying this perfect service, doing perfect things, and it's perfect, la 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 la, right? That's not the real world.
No.
Like,
People will see through it.
People will see through it, and having something that's portraying perfect causes me doubt. Is that fair?
I think it's fair. Although if AI took the conveyancing process down to 2 or 3 weeks,
I mean,
I'll take it.
Cool
I'll take it. I'm like, come on, bring it on, AI. I love you. Love the flawlessness.
That's true. I love the flawlessness.
Love the flatness.
It's so great. It's so great. So just finally then, getting started with video content or thinking about content in a different way into 2024, 25, what would be your top tips to either get going or get improving?
If you haven't got a talent for it, hire somebody to do it for you.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd say. I'm sure you'd want me to say always get, professionals do it every time. I don't think it's necessary to do it every time. If you've got a talent for it and you've got somebody in your business who's, trained to a degree in it or whatever it may be, get some decent equipment.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't got decent sound equipment for one, you can't produce anything good with it. You can't edit out.
Sound is key.
Sound is key. There you go. Very flash microphones here. And get something decent. iPhones are amazing to record on now, but they're not going to give you the sound you want. So I'd say invest in some sound equipment. And then I'd just say watch what other people do. Watch how somebody edits a video. Don't keep slicing it about. Don't keep having transitions that twist it and turn it and flip on its end. Just be sensible of what you do. But genuinely, unless you've got a talent for it, get the professionals in. It's what everybody does in their life. If you don't know how to fix your car, get a mechanic. You don't open the bonnet and start having to go yourself, do you?
No.
So that's what I'd say.
Ben, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate you coming to see us. I wish Hatton Home every success going forward, and I hope that in 3 years' time it's 10 offices and 70 staff. But yeah, thanks a million.
Oh, that's really kind of you. Thank you for inviting me. Cheers.